Hello, Mr. Ahlmann. Thanks for being with us today. And thanks for your time to do an interview for our upcoming textile symposium. Verwertung stands for responsible handling of used clothing, which is matching very well with our upcoming textile symposium and the title Responsible Resource Use in the Textile Industry. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's start with the first question. How do you define responsibility in your field and in your with your expertise?
We, as a network of charity collectors of used clothes, think that we got the responsibility for the used clothes we get from the private households. First of all, it is that we make transparent what we are doing with it, because we can't use all the clothes that we collect in Germany here for charity reasons, like in our shops or things like that. We collect much more. So we sell them to big recycling or sorting firms, and we talk about that. That's the first thing, transparency. And then the waste stream used clothes, here it's very important to handle it in such a way that you can make sure that most of them, like 60 or 70%, are really getting in a reuse, and that they are not destroyed and things like that. That's the main points that we what we define as responsibility against used clothes.
Very good. So we learned a bit already about your work. And can you give us a bit of an overview what you do differently in comparison to other used clothes sorters and redistributors, and which regions or what scales you and Verwertung is operating?
Yeah, we are a network of nationwide here operating in Germany. And first of all, we are all collectors doing it for charity reasons. Like I said, the first way we try to reuse the used clothes locally, and for maybe people with less money or refugees, things like that. And on the other way, if we can't use them locally, we sell them and use money for our social goals. That's the first thing. We are only doing it for charity reasons. The second, and I think this is the main difference to other collectors in Germany, is that we established a system of control and audits against our buyers. We know where the clothes are going. We know the circumstances in which they are sorted and sold globally. So we control it and try to establish social and high ecological standards.
Okay. And yeah, we hope that the textile recycling, the reuse, and the clothing donation contribute to reducing the environmental impact of fashion and textiles, and recycling of old clothes prevents them from ending up in landfills as well, which helps conserve resources and reduce waste. And in theory, also promoting a circular economy approach, we could extend then the lifespan of the textile through this mechanism. This all sounds quite fantastic, but there are pitfalls in this current system. And can you help us understand this problematic situation a bit more?
Yeah, I think if you have a look at this industry or this market, you have to realize that there's no recycling business at all. Everybody who's involved in this business, like collecting, sorting, recycling, or exporting, tries to find as much reuse things, because you have to know that all the clothes that you can't reuse anymore, you can't make profit. So everybody is keen of this reuse share in a collection, and this is the only part of a collection which makes the money. And if you could have a look at the other part or the other share, like what you're doing is blankets or things like that, out of it, you can't earn money with it. So there's no really circularity in it. Nobody does like a trouser who's mechanically recycled to another trouser. Nobody does that in this moment. So if you have a critical look, you can say this is only collecting and sorting for reusing what's good. But the second step, recycling, is not happening right now, today.
Okay, but do you think the logistics and the technology is there to close the loop efficiently yet?
Yeah, I think there's enough money, capital. There's the knowledge is there, but the demand for this recycled content isn't there. And but at this point, we got a dilemma, I think, because some of the producers say, okay, we can't buy enough recycled content. We can't plan it because nobody can ensure that we can have the amount in next year for recycling content. And the recycler said, okay, we're not, we don't want to invest because we don't know how high is the demand, and it's expensive. It's more expensive than origin materials. So what we need right now is political regulation that shows all the producers and the recycling industry that we will, or that the politics and the society wants to go this way, like as recycling content in new products, things like that. And I think then the industry will invest. We will have more circularity in the industry.
I hope so. Let's see. And do you see already a culture of international collaboration in this field, like Global North, Global South?
Oh, this is a difficult question. What you really can say when it comes to the sorters and the recyclers, this is an international business right now. But there's collection in the north and reusing in the south. Maybe this is a very simple way to look at the industry, but every product is becoming waste somehow, somewhere. So I think we need a global answer about clothes that are waste, that are not longer useful. And so I don't think that right now there's much cooperation between North and South, but it will come, surely. Because we need the amount of waste to do recycling in an efficient way.
Yeah, to have the prediction of these volumes, yeah, would help. Looking at the donation of the old clothes and the recycling, which helps to divert a significant amount of waste, as we spoke about, from landfills, and to reduce the overall waste burden for communities and ecosystems. But as we also see in different documentaries, somehow our used clothes will end up on landfill, for example, in Ghana or Chile. And you also mentioned this in your new report, which I found very interesting. And you also showed a bit with data and interviews. You dived more into details to really understand the system. The report is called Second Hand, Second Thoughts. So you showcase very different scenarios. and how the clothing trade is working. So thanks, first of all, for your insights. And yes, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? What was the outcome of the report, or what did you learn from that?
Like I said, this collection and sorting industry only works because there's a big global demand for good quality reused clothes, secondhand clothes. So a big volume of the clothes that are donated in the global south are going to the global north, collected go to the global south. And what we try to understand is why there are so much used clothes at the beaches or in the desert in Chile. And what we figured out is that there are different ways of doing this global trade. On the one hand side, there are they're doing full sorting. This is a process in which every product is sorted 3 times, and afterwards you get over 300 products like trousers, man, black, or a skirt, colorful, and the sizes and so on. And the customer from the global south can buy or choose from this list from over 300 products. So this full sorted bales that are going to the south get a really high chance to be resold there and not ended as on a landfill immediately. On the other side, you got sorting or sorters that are selling like tropical mix or mixes, and this is something like gambling. And I think there in these bales are sometimes or more often clothes that can't be sold or don't match the market in the importing countries, but it's more cheaper because it's cheaper to just mix it around than to sort it in a full way. So what we figured out, or what we try to implement now for politics, is that we only export those articles that are clearly defined as secondhand articles that are reuse and that are fitting to the market. Like they have to be full sorted and not just like tropical mix or things like that. I think this is one problem, not the trade at all, because like 80% of the population of the world are using reuse or secondhand clothes. So this is a normal way. What we are doing in the global north is a scandal. And so reuse is good, and it's good in the global north and in the global south too. But we have to regulate this trade.
Yeah, and I hope this will happening in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah, the European Union is discussing right now the waste directive, a new waste directive, but it's very complicated because things that things that from our point of view is not reuse anymore can be a product in some other countries. So yeah, it's very complicated, but we will see.
Yeah. And you have been working in this field for quite a while, and partnerships between all the different stakeholders, as you mentioned, are very crucial and important and essential for creating the system and make this all work. So which stakeholders have the greatest power, do you think, to help supporting this transformation?
Oh, I think circularity is always team play. And I don't think that there's one actor there who can achieve the most. right now we are on a stage that we are starting to discuss all the problems, and we speak to another. That's new. Like we always at the end of the stream always had our problems and our goals, and that are completely different to them to the producers, what they need and what they want, maybe. And now we are talking, and I think this is the stage we are in right now, and it's a long way to achieve circularity, but I think everybody is now fine with it. Everybody needs the necessity, and so we're starting to get circular.
Right. And when you say everyone, is it, do you talk to brands as well, to the suppliers, to the recyclers, to everyone?
Yeah, sure. Everybody in the chain has to change things. Like the producers have to think about recyclability when it comes to designing the products, and the customer also, what kind of articles he's buying or he or she's buying, and also the end of the chain, like building up facilities for recycling and capacities for sorting more to get an real good recycling product at the end. So everybody has to change.
And do you see already also a consumer mindset shifting into like, let's buy less and use it longer and also reuse it here, for example, Germany?
What we see is that more or other people buy secondhand. This is really changing in the last years. But on the other side, you see that in the market for new products, there's this, the one hand side, the luxury segment is growing. On the other side, ultra fast fashion is growing. And so it's a little bit, yeah, the customer is a question mark. On the one hand side, he's behaving more sustainability or sustainable when it comes to secondhand. On the other side, he's buying ultra fast fashion. So
yeah,
I can't answer that.
It was already a good answer. Thank you. And you also mentioned earlier in our discussion some new European laws come into action soon, which have a significant or will hopefully have a significant role in promoting and regulating the textile recycling and the waste mechanism, also supporting clothing donation and practices. Is there any other regulation which is coming soon to happen, or how to say, which is soon coming into action? Or do you see there needs to be more regulations in this field?
I think what the European Union got his textile strategy. I think this textile strategy stands everything we need to get a more sustainable textile sector, and we can establish a circular economy for textiles with this strategy. And the most impact could have, I think, the extended producer responsibility that will be in the European Union, I think, in the next years. So this will help funding all this collection, sorting, and recycling. Hopefully, if we do it in a smart way. And on the other side, we need design regulation, like for we got the design for recycling, and on the other side, we need recycling content in new products. as a mandatory. This everything is in the textile strategy, but we need to bring it to real life and in legislation. So hopefully it will come.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And soon getting to my two last questions. One more in terms of economic opportunities and job creation. So with this new sorting and scaling up all these processes, the recycling, the reuse, do you see benefits there to create more jobs?
Yeah, because I think right now we talk about circularity like it is good for the environmental or from environmental perspective. But if you have a look from the business side, if you have a look 10 or 15 years in the future, there will be the question, where can I get my materials from? And so recycling will be necessary to have the materials to get new products, to sell products. You will need recycling. And so I would say that if we don't do it, the Chinese will do it. And the question is, where are the machines? Are they in Europe? A green new textile sector bringing jobs to Europe? Or will it all be in China or Asia like it is today when it comes to producing? And so I think this is a big opportunity for Europe to bring back maybe some production of new products to Europe and to bring all this green industry to Europe. Because the waste is here in Europe, so yeah. Why send them back?
I agree, and sounds like a good vision. And do you have other wishes also to see in the future? You already mentioned a green industry in Europe.
Yeah, for me, it's one thing is very important. When we talk about circularity, we did in this interview, we always talk about, first of all, about recycling and things like that. But circularity or sustainability also means social. And I think this is very important. And circularity is not only about recycling. I think this is a concept from bottom up. And first of all, you have to look at the local circles you can build, like reuse or repair and things like that on a local base. And then afterwards, the bigger stages where you get all those volumes that you can use locally. But you have to think circularity, first of all, locally, and then you can bring it together with the social questions. Like you said, with a global trade, what is about the waste in the global south? And if we have a look at the Katamandu market in Ghana, Accra, you can see that they are living circularity there, because you can find on the market the second-hand retailer. You can find there people are doing upcycling. You can get every product name on your white T-shirt that you want. You can repair clothes, and there's upcycling. They're doing everything there, just to avoid that something is getting waste. So they are living it, and maybe we can learn something from the Global South there, because it's a bottom-up idea, and it's not a big industry concept from my point of view.
Yeah, thanks for bringing in the social part. Of course, very important. And I see similar things. I saw things in Accra before, and also in Dhaka in Bangladesh. You see the informal market on the waste cut-offs from the textiles, which will be sold on the street. And yeah, they see the value in there, which is great to know. Yeah,
this is really interesting, because right now the big industry is paying for these the stuff from Bangladesh to recycle it, because it's very easily to recycle those things. And the people in Bangladesh that are buying this normally to make own clothes of it can't afford it anymore, and have a problem to buy clothes for. This is a good example for the social aspects of circularity.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Thanks for these insights. I'm already done with my questions. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you great, successful work ahead with your NGO. And perhaps we see any future collaboration also to investigate more barriers, things with our students here in Germany, but also Bangladesh, perhaps. Let's see. But thanks, for your time, and take care.
Thank you very much.